I have another question. How do you think the media affects the way that people practice self-love? Because the media feeds us a lot of... Since we were kids, the media was telling us, like...
Yeah, standards of beauty, stuff like that,
Yeah.
There's even commercials, like, specifically aimed for kids to consume. Right? Like, on kids' channels, on cartoon channels during commercial time, they specifically show... They'll show, like, a sad kid. Timmy, you want to be happy? Buy the new Nerf gun. Oh, yeah.
Dude, I would just...
that's so awesome.
If I had a kid, I would literally just have nothing but Mr. Rogers, like, playing for that kid. So I was like, this is self-love. And then they hate Mr. Rogers, and then I'd be resented for it. No. But yeah, like, I guess...
Even in the shopping mall, like, the ads there, like, they try to trigger something in you.
There's a lot of colorism here.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Like,
that reminds me. There was this ad on in District 1. You guys might have seen it where, like, they took it down.
Different shades?
The different shades, where it's, like, the girl who was, like, all, like brown, mopey, and unhappy.
Yeah.
She was, like, white.
Yeah.
There was... I've seen one that had 3 shades and one that had 4 shades. But anyways, like...
4 shades of gray.
The billboard is this... A really dark Vietnamese girl that's really sad. A less dark one that's less sad, and then a really light-skinned one with like rosy cheeks and a tiara, and she's like the happiest person ever. And they're selling some skincare cream. Well, and it says made in USA.
Yeah.
There's a ton of clinics around D3 for surgery.
There's a big market for that here.
Yeah, it's huge.
You know what I think it is? I think the fact is that, like, all this stuff is so disconnected from each other. I don't think it intentionally creates this sort of negative self-image of ourselves. But, like, let's just say you've got, like, a skincare ad or whatever, and you're, a little bit brown. You see that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you see this other thing talking about weight that's completely disconnected. You see that. And then you just see all these little things. And all these little things in separate directions just kind of gradually pull apart this self-image.
And also in the US, there's a lot of talk. I mean, there's conversations about these topics, right? But I feel like in Vietnam, it's sort of like implied and also kind of taboo. So if you bring it up, people will be like, oh, but that's kind of obvious. Why are you talking about this? Yeah.
It's part of the matrix.
Yeah, but in the US, I mean, there's a lot of conversations about race and, colonialism. I guess depends who you talk to, but
it's like
here too.
At the same time, I think Westerners have more of a, in terms of like our religion, our politics, and like our core belief systems, our philosophies. We have this more, I guess, centric idea of of labeling certain emotions as good or bad. In a sense, like we have this more, this is good, this is bad kind of matrix when it comes to just like our inner dialogue. Because the Buddhism and things like that. I mean, we're in a country where people use religion out of convenience, but like anywhere. But like a lot of the Buddhist teachings and a lot of that's where a lot of this, I guess, sort of like self-love talk and a lot of stuff involving like not putting a label on things comes from.
Yeah, but I've also seen people here who don't go along with that like ideal of like lighter skin is better or something. They just go against the grain too. I've seen that here too.
Yeah. I think and honestly, like it's attractive either way. Like somebody who's light can be attractive. Somebody who's like dark as night is attractive. It's just like it's just the way that like you have this set group of people with money that want to make more money, and they're like, this is the thing, and it's like, oh, all the big people say this, it must be true, and then everybody just kind of like falls in line with it, but they fall in line with it in the sense that they just start like hating themselves because they don't reach this artificial thing that they put in there in order for this person to make more money.
I have some English students here that they're just naturally dark skinned, so I hope they feel okay when they see those those ads.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like with the way like the sun's going anyways, like people like this are gonna be like dying out. So like nobody's like the sun's getting brighter and the sun's getting hotter. Like if you want to survive, like you're gonna have to like make some brown babies. I don't know, like, because like if you want your offspring to survive, because like lighter skin's gonna be phased out.
In the end, it's an adaptation.
Yeah, exactly. It's just an adaptation to like the environment. Melanin's good. I wish I had more of it. Like I burn so easily. Like, come on.
Something funny happened this week with me. I went to go eat at this Greek restaurant near Winhoy Street, and as I'm waiting for the food, they're playing like non-stop acoustic pop music, and it's only heartbreak songs. It's only I can't breathe without you. I can't live without you. I'm thinking about you like for like hours. How does that affect us? We grew up listening to that, and even our parents did, didn't they?
Well, it's an emotional trigger. Like that's what art and music does. It triggers people to feel a certain emotion, and I think we have to be, self-aware in the sense that like, because some people, I've seen this with some people, and I've been like this too, where like something bad happens, like let's just say you have a bad meal or you see a sad movie or something like that, and it like affects you. Like throughout everything, but we could just, if we can just sort of like internalize what's going on, just be like, this is depressing song, fuck, and not like internalize like the feelings that we're feeling based off of that media that's like we're being bombarded with.
It's like so many like movies and songs that we consume, they imply that we need someone to complete us. And then we have to unlearn that later because we thought that was actually reality.
Like that one true love or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas like,
in Spanish they say you gotta find your other half, like
Right.
otra naranja, la media naranja.
Yeah.
Media naranja.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm waving. I don't know why I'm nodding my head. I don't know what. I was just like, yeah. That was like, wait a minute. I don't know what he's talking about. I want to be a part of the cool group. Yeah.
But in reality, we are the whole orange, right? We are the whole thing. We don't need something else to complete us.
Right.
I mean, that's the truth, because we're always on our own anyway.
Like
even when you are with someone.
It's like even though I thought that I unlearned that, I subconsciously still believe that. So I'm just now like reprogramming that.
And it's like, yeah. Go ahead.
Like on the surface, I actually honestly felt like no, that's bullshit, man. Like I'm already complete, but subconsciously, I actually didn't believe it yet. Like it didn't really click yet. Yeah.
Well, you kind of gotta like, I guess I would use the word suffering in this case, but you kind of gotta suffer being alone for a little while in order to feel that.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, I'm alone, and then you gotta process, like set a timetable for yourself just to like feel that if you want, however long you want to do it, and go and do a bunch of cool stuff with just you while you're feeling that, and then realize that it's okay to feel lonely. It sucks feeling lonely, but it's a part of it, part of life. And then later on, I guess you could figure out that like I don't need somebody, but like wanting somebody could be okay. But I could still do my thing while I don't have somebody and be fine.
Yeah, like I want pizza, but I don't need it.
Yeah.
That'd be similar.
Well, kind of, but like, a person can like enhance your life, but like if you're thinking about it from like the sense of like
Lack.
Yeah, you're lacking something, then it's kind of like
then you're already implying that they're completing you.
Right. It's counterproductive. And I also feel like the more you feel like you're okay just by yourself, the more people you attract.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and it's like I use this all the time. I overuse this, but it's going to the grocery store hungry.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You're gonna buy a bunch of shit you don't need, and you're gonna be with someone that you don't need to be with, and then you're gonna be in this loop of, oh man, I'm with this person. Why am I with this person? All right, 6 years of codependency. All right, breaking up with this person, finding a new person, 6 more years of codependency. It's like,
Could happen.
yeah, just be okay with being yourself. Just not okay. Be not okay with being yourself for a little while, and then just sort of like get used to it, and then like when somebody comes along, you'll be able to look through them from the lens of, am I okay? If I'm with this person, how does this person compare to me being by myself? Instead of like, does this person complete something I don't have?
Right, yeah. Do they fill my void?
Yeah, because you don't have a void, but it's just
Right.
like, how does this person enhance what I already got? You know?
True.
Yeah, and it's sometimes not even the way they are at that moment, but the potential of them. Oh, like what I mean is like, if you meet somebody, right? It's not really what they are at that moment. This is something I'm kind of discovering right now. Like, if you meet somebody, it's not really what they are at that moment, but it's more like the potential of how you're gonna deal with the problems that they're gonna deal in the future. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
it's
get
like,
you, man.
It's kind of like thinking about how you're gonna deal with suffering in the future, right? How you're gonna deal with the stuff that comes to life in the future, and if you're willing to deal with those things with that person, it's kind of
Like, how will that? Like, are you saying like, how will that person be able to process like those issues when they come up, instead of like they could be great in the moment, but like how will they deal with like shit when it comes up?
yeah, not even them, because that's out of your control, right? But
sure.
How willing you are to deal with those things?
When they have some kind of like, I mean, I've been calling them mind attacks. I don't know if there's a better word for this. Like when they're experiencing some kind of like negative, or let's say uncomfortable emotion, and maybe it spills out on you or something. Then it's like, oh, can we handle that?
Oh, that's interesting. I just thought of something.
Yeah.
So, I just thought of this really weird, like, category for, like, finding somebody, like, I guess, like, a partner or whatever. Like, what if, this is going to sound weird, what if you need compatible trauma? In the sense that, like, everybody's traumatized by something in a way that affects our processes and the way we do it. We, like, navigate stuff. And it's just part of being human. Yeah. Like, something, but, like, it's sort of like how a person, like, I guess how you have those mind attacks that's a great way to call them, mind attacks. Like, how compatible is, like, the way you process stuff from, like, the things that happen to you with the way they process stuff from the way things happen to them. Kind of like compatible. I don't know if this is making any sense, but
processing compatibility,
like the level of trauma that both people have, like how do they compare as far as how they're gonna deal with problems together?
Yeah. Kind of like if they kind of went through some of the same things, or if they kind of have the same responses and processes, or how those responses that you have through what you're working through compared to the responses of what they have that they're working through. Because all humans are working through stuff, you know what I mean?
Right. My guess is that to be compatible, those two people would need to have not the same trauma, but trauma that is more or less to the same degree, of like same types of trauma, maybe. I don't know, like not completely disparate, you know, like because that would make it not
something that kind of like, or like in a way, such a way that like harmonizes with them, or like you guys kind of like harmonize together a little bit.
Not because of your wound, but because of the way that you process your wound.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure. It's not like, you know, oh, we're in this boat suffering together. You know, we were both, you know, molested as kids or something like that. But it's like, yeah, it's like you said, it's just how you guys process the stuff that comes up. Because stuff's going to come up. It's unavoidable.
Of course.
It's like, oh, the magic isn't gone. It's just something came up. It's life, man.
Sometimes people say like you think like the spark is gone, but actually you're just experiencing like peacefulness, and that feels weird.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like those people. You ever run into those people who, like, I can be guilty of this sometimes, who can't like sit silent with somebody for like more than a second. And, you know, when they're silent, they like suddenly, you know, sporadically come up with something to tell you about. It's like, you don't need to do that. Just sit there and be peaceful, you know?
True.
Just like be comfortable with each other's peace and just like sit there and just feel that. We don't have to say anything. It's just like,
yeah, true.
Yeah.
That happens. I feel like that happens more in Asia, where people are more comfortable with silence. I don't know if that's your experience, but
I'm not sure.
I feel like in the US, like you have to come up with something to say, otherwise, like there's a different culture about silence.
I was gonna ask you with or without phones, like silence like this,
No,
or just like
taking
or just three
phones
people
out.
just like.
When I'm hanging out with people, I'm never on my phone. So
I saw a family today at the coffee shop. It was dad, mom, and kid, and each of them had their own device the entire time that I was there.
Yeah, no, I was talking
Is that-
about like taking phones out of the equation because that's people do that all over the world now.
yeah, it's like yeah, we can't be boomers about it anymore. With their mobile phones on the Facebooks,
They're on the ChatGPT.
Homework. Have we reached any like helpful conclusions? Like we said that we're not incomplete. We are the whole orange. We're not half an orange.
We should, be in tune with the way that our body feeling, like our internal dialogue, our emotional like vibration. I don't know what to call it, but like just our emotions. And we should be able to forgive ourselves for those emotions and be uncomfortable with those emotions and with powerful emotions like loneliness when interacting with other people, because ultimately if we're with someone that we're unhappy with in that sense, then that's a result of us not loving ourselves.
True.
And also remember that feelings that feel bad, bad feelings are temporary. Everything just flows.
Yeah.
And not kicking ourselves when we do feel those bad feelings, or those things that we label ourselves as bad feelings. Yeah, that's conditional. But like things we label are as bad feelings. I said that twice, but whatever.
And also, I feel like we're already complete, but sometimes we accidentally start seeking something to complete us, and then by logic implying that we are incomplete. And then when you catch yourself, I was seeking completeness again, and then when you realize that, then try your best to forgive yourself too.
Yeah,
that's what I've been dealing with like a lot.
Well, that's also seeing the situation for what it is, because we're like, you're with someone, or like you have like a job, and you're like, oh man, I could make more money, and then you're just like, you think back, you're like, man,
Dude,
it's okay. What are you doing?
My friend Rohit, he's a manifestation coach. What's up, Rohit? His clients will tell him like, man, I really want to pass this next test that I have. It's like, can I manifest like an A+? Like, why do you want to pass a test? To get a promotion? Why do you want a promotion? To buy a house? To get more money? Why do you want more money? To get a house for my mom? Like, why don't you just manifest the house?
It's like, dude, just go get the house.
So in this case, it's like, I want to get more money. Like, why? To feel happy. Like, why don't you just be happy then?
Right.
Yeah, I feel like what your buddy did almost in a sense is like he kind of got to the root of it. He was like,
so why
dude, why don't you just be honest with yourself? You just want a house. Go get the house.
Yeah, well, like, why are you playing games? Just get to the last. Just get the thing.
Well, that's another thing too. Just not play games with yourself like that.
Yeah, and the games are so fun sometimes.
We're all kind of addicted to them, whether we think they're fun or not.
Like the game of just like the idea of like, oh, you know what? I think I found happiness. It's if I do this, I'm gonna get it, and then you feel good. Oh yeah, now I know how to get it, and it feels good just to think like, oh yeah, now I know how to get it.
Yeah.
And then when you get there, then you realize, oh, that's not it. And then, oh, you know what? No, actually, it was this other thing. Now I got it, and it feels so good just to think that you found it.
So you're just kind of chasing that high.
And I've been doing that for a long time. Yeah. So for me to stop doing that, it's like there's a momentum still. Like, hey, shouldn't we be looking for it though? And then I have to make myself just like stop.
You feel a little bit empty because like you spend so much of your time and energy doing that, right?
No, just also there's like a subconscious that, let's say, like that little voice.
Yeah.
Is saying like, hey, are you sure though? Are you sure we have to stop? What if we're missing it?
It's like a dopamine hit.
Yeah. Right. So what if we're missing out on the thing that you think that you're gonna get just by waiting? Right? It's like what like the thoughts are saying.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's also natural for people to do. Like, it's a very natural dynamic. But at the same time, you could be conscious of that and accept it the way it is, and try to learn to be okay to
just
get away from that, right?
I feel like just by stopping, like the momentum does shift.
Just chill for a while and
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some days you feel really peaceful, and some days like, oh my god, like you have to do something. I have to go find this thing. I'm like in like a rehab phase right now for that.
It's like I feel like everybody's life is kind of like that, to where like we won't necessarily be super content all the time, but like we won't all the time. Well, we won't be content all the time, but we won't all the time be like, oh man, this is great, great, and then oh man, you got this, and then I'm gonna shit on myself because I don't have this next thing yet or whatever. It's kind of like finding that fine line between both, to where like you can like chase things, and at the same time like still be content. Like be content with yourself, and then find things in your life that add an extra depth and complexity to you.
Or chase the things that actually cause pain, but in a positive dynamic. Like,
Yeah, healthy
for
way.
example, like I don't know, like some type of workout or like some type of goal that
Alright.
you still get the dopamine hit, but you're building something that is like actually good for your body physiologically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it adds dimension. It adds a
Yeah.
new dimension to you.
Like
Yeah.
a cold plunge. Like
Yes.
a cold plunge. I heard that's really good.
Yeah, for example, I mean, in my case, like getting sore, it actually sucks to work out, right? Like it's uncomfortable. But once I get sore, like I actually like that feeling now.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. You can just sit in it, and then after a while, like you actually get used to the feeling of working out. It's like, oh, this sucks, but this different kind of sucks. It feels all right,
Yeah. It's like I earned it. I earned this one.
Yeah.
I have to take a cold plunge every time I go into my shower, because after like 5 p.m. for some reason the last couple of weeks they just cut off the hot water, and I'm just sitting there like.
So you were doing that?
I was doing it, but I wasn't doing it because I wanted to. I was doing it because I had to.
Now when I go back home, I'm going back home on Thursday. Now I'm gonna take some like seriously cold shower.
To the U.S.?
Yeah, just for a month.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. See you guys soon.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I think we should send some shout outs to our listeners. Unless you have any final thoughts on this topic.
We can do the shout outs.
Yeah? Okay, so I'm not gonna show you. I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so
I can see your paper from here.
So less than
You've seen everything. You don't need to hide it.
Let's say about 1% of our listeners. Wow, this is almost. About 1% of our listeners come from Mexico, Canada, and UK. Do you have anything you want to say to them?
What number of people is that?
I don't know the number, just percentage.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's like one person in each country. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then one dude
Gracias
in
por
Canada.
escucharnos, México.
Órale, Mexico. Any message for the UK?
Are you asking me that because of why?
Because you're the representative.
Because I'm
Any message for your cousins?
my cousins are Italian and Polish. Brexit sucks. Come here.
I've never been to UK, but one day I'll visit.
Yeah, for sure.
One day I'll make it to Europe.
Yeah, sure.
My bro Grant is over there. He's coming in July. He lives in, I think, Coventry City. I heard Coventry is like the Manassas of England.
Oh, for real?
I don't know what Coventry is, and I don't know what Manassas is,
Uh,
but it doesn't sound pleasant. Because when I think of Manassas, I think
Where were you
ass.
from? I thought you were from Virginia.
No, I'm from Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Oh, yeah.
wait. What part of Alabama?
Birmingham.
Yo!
Well, you don't sound like somebody from Alabama then.
My family is from the north, and I just like I heard people talk from where I'm from, and I was like, I don't like the way they talk, and I just didn't copy it. But like when I was little, I was like, I hate the way that kid talks. I'm not going to talk like him.
That's funny. Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham.
Any message for Canada? I've never been there either. I just keep thinking it's too cold, but I've never actually gone.
What's your percentage of listeners in Canada?
This is still like less than 1%.
It's 1%.
Yeah, it's probably one person. Hey, dude.
What up, Canada?
Okay, now going to 2%.
Okay.
2% of listeners are in Singapore.
Singapore. Stop complaining. You guys complain too much. Like every Singaporean I've met over here complains too much. your stuff is expensive, I know, but like everyone envies you guys. Be happy with what you have.
I've been to Malaysia, but I've never been to Singapore.
It's a very orderly place.
Yeah.
Very clean. If you throw bubble gum on the floor, they'll fine you like $200.
Don't they like put you on the news for that? Like,
Really? Damn.
I saw this thing on TV where they like film people like scraping up the gum.
Ah, okay.
My dad. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What if you fart in an elevator? Is there a fine for
I'm
that?
pretty sure you just get your head blown off. Like they just point blank just blow your brains out with a revolver.
It's like, wait, how bad was the fart? Like,
And then they each make your family members pay $200, and then they make you clean it up.
Yeah. Imagine New York, clean, brand new, and in the tropics.
what's the
That's
population? Is it the same population? Like,
New York and Singapore? Hell
Yeah.
no.
what is Singapore, like 3 million or something?
I don't know, but New York's way bigger.
It's like 10 million people.
Oh wait, no, you're right, because like Singapore is like the country and the city, and
Right.
like
It's a city.
so yeah, it's city state. Yeah, New York's just New York.
It's like goddamn Athens or something.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Alright, 3% of listeners are in India.
What's up, India? Thanks for being nice to my buddy Nick when you were over there.
Oh yeah, I was there for Lunar New Year.
I want to go to India. I want to go to India so bad.
Oh yeah.
That would be so much fun.
I really want to.
I would have gone with you guys, but I had a prior trip planned with my boy Kyle. Shout out to my boy Kyle and Tudak.
Nice. Go to Pondicherry in India. It's a beach town.
Pondicherry.
Yeah. It's a beach town. It's like really chill. And it's clean.
Is that where you guys were at? I thought you guys were somewhere up north.
We went to the south.
Oh.
We went to Pondicherry just on a day trip. We actually stayed in the countryside in Tiruvannamalai, like in the south somewhere.
Dude, that sounds
Sweet.
amazing.
And we ate
Yeah.
only vegetarian food.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all they had.
I could eat. I could eat vegetarian food if it was Indian food.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm not a
For
vegetarian,
sure.
but that doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Yeah, no, because like they've been doing it for so like
Yeah.
for
Dude, and they still had Western food. You know,
Yeah.
like Kafka.
yeah.
They have like multiple Kafkas in this little town.
What do you mean, the cafes? Kafka? Cafe?
I mean, not like the name Kafka, but
Huh.
many places like
It's like a
that.
brand,
Oh,
yeah.
And every like so you're like in India,
Yeah.
but then like in this random little place you go inside, it's like, oh, we got cheeseburgers and we got pasta. And
Well, I mean, you
and we're
gotta
vegetarian.
you gotta give all the spoiled little Europeans on their gap year something.
Yeah,
like come on.
suddenly it feels kind of like Tao Dien, where like so like you're in India, but then you go up this little hole in this little mini Kafka, and everybody's a expat.
Uh-huh.
I feel like everywhere in the world is like that now, where there's like an expat ghetto where like all the expats go.
We're from the streets.
Yeah, we're from the
The
streets.
Sesame Streets.
Yeah.
All right, yo,
Sesame Streets.
the next one is 42%. It just jumps to that.
It's Vietnam. I
It's
saw it on
Vietnam.
your paper.
It's Vietnam. 42% of listeners are in Vietnam. Thanks, guys.
You guys listen to the right podcast.
You were number 1, but now you're number 2, by the way.
Dude,
Xin chào.
Dude, there is something about Vietnam and number one. Like, you hear people say number one, and you see number one everywhere. Like, I saw a cafe that said the number one cafe, and you see people who are like, Vietnam number one! So, like, I feel like since you said that they aren't number one anymore, you're gonna get doxxed.
Guys,
They're gonna dox you
I
now.
believe in you that you can
Don't
bring it
dox
back.
my friend Nick, he loves you
You can
guys.
bring it back, of course. If the program is called Looks Saigon, of
Yeah.
course. I want to put Saigon on the map. It's gonna happen.
Do it. It kind of already is, but...
52% of listeners are in U.S. This is the one
Wow.
that's been increasing the most recently.
Really?
I think because I've interviewed some people in the U.S. via Zoom.
Yeah, you did a lot of U.S. interviews, so I
Spencer,
think
my bro
that's attracts
Spencer.
some people.
My bro Spencer, North Carolina.
I saw that one. Yeah.
That was a good one. I really liked that one. That was a good
Living
one.
in the boonies.
That was a good. That one was really entertaining. I like that one.
Any shout outs to the U.S.?
Shout out to my mom, dad, family, anyone else who's who just basically follows me religiously online now that I'm in Vietnam. This is for you.
Oh, sweet. My family's coming. My mom, my sister, Jenny, Jennifer. See you soon. Next month. It's coming up.
Dang.
Yes.
Wait, she's what?
My mom and my sister.
They're coming here?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, yeah,
We're gonna go to Da Nang.
yeah.
Yeah.
See that my family, his family's coming here. You guys need to get out of your U.S. hole and and come to Vietnam and experience the greatness.
And my mom came in March. She came here in March.
His mom came here in March. You hear that?
That's a trend.
It's a trend now.
I'll be seeing everybody in Northern Virginia really soon. I'm flying next Thursday, so I'm gonna see my whole family, like mom, dad, brother, grandpa, grandma, uncle, aunt, cousins. Also, my Virginia people, Arturo, Cynthia, Pablito at Starbucks. I used to work at Starbucks.
Oh, yeah, you did when you got back, yeah.
Dude, when I was there, I worked there for about maybe 4 or 5 months. And like on month 4, I was thinking like, will I be here forever? And then when time came, I was like, oh, we'll go back to Vietnam, peace.
Your Facebook posts were just getting more existentially depressing. Like as you did that, and right when they got at their worst, you were suddenly here again.
I was like, how long will I have to be here?
I was like, God, I really hope this dude. I was like thinking about messaging you about it. I was like, I really want this dude to just like not fall into this trap of just being there and then like not coming back. I'm like, this dude needs to be here.
I gotta tell you about that. Like, it didn't really hit me that I was coming back to Vietnam until like 2 days before.
Yeah.
After I said goodbye to my cousins, and I was like, oh shit, I'm going back to Vietnam. And, like, and then little voice, are you sure you want to go back? You're already in America. Everybody in Vietnam is trying to come to America. Why are you going to Vietnam?
Pull that voice out of your head and just smash it.
That was 30 years ago.
That was 30 years ago, dude. Now we're all coming to Vietnam,
dude.
Like we're the immigrants here now. Like
the expats.
We're they call them expats. But we're immigrants. Like let's be honest.
Luckily, like my parents drove me to the airport, which happened to be in New York. They drove me up there, so I didn't have to like worry about like driving back home. Like they just took me there.
Oh, especially since you've been driving on a motorbike.
That was weird to drive in America. It's like, oh, there's rules now?
I'm not driving in America like ever again because I'm afraid that I'm gonna like cut in front of someone and just get T-boned.
I didn't follow
it's very dangerous.
I didn't follow any yield sign. I didn't follow any. I was just like cutting people off, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't do that. And then when people were like driving like recklessly, I was like, oh yo, this is like Vietnam. This is easy.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
Which is like, you know, going out on the road and fearing for your life. Like, that's just normal here, man.
I kind of miss having a roof, though, when you drive.
Oh, yeah?
When it rains.
Dude, it's so weird being in a car. Like, I think I was not in a car for, like, almost a year and a half. And then I went to Da Nang, and I took an actual, like, car taxi with my buddy, and I was just like in this air-conditioned closed space there, and I was like, this is really nice. Am I supposed to be in here? I've been exposed to the elements every time I go inside. It's like, I'm supposed to be in here, man? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
This is so surreal. I feel like this is too nice. The lux.
A little capsule.
Yeah, it's like
you places.
Your little hyperbolic chamber going through the streets, your little coffin. It's like...
Yeah, see you soon, guys. Mandy, Diego, the baby Livy, Derek, Danny, Alex, everybody. I'm gonna see you guys really soon. Yeah.
You're not ready for this, dude.
Let's see what happens.
He's a convertible with no brakes.